Welcome to our first episode of the Tequila Journey. So, I have not really been a tequila drinker, not just a sipper, not mixing margaritas and doing all that good stuff, pretty much ever. And I went to Texas one year, and I kind of relayed this story at one time. And we went to a birthday party, or had a birthday party there, and everybody was buying tequila, and they bought Jose Cuervo, especial or whatever, the cheapest stuff, $30 a bottle, probably $24 a bottle back then. And little did I know, that's not really the best tequila, but it is the most popular for price, for a lot of things. And there are really a lot of things about tequila, or what can make tequila good or bad, or somewhere in between. So I bought some bourbon, some Wild Turkey, I think 101 proof or something, and everybody looked at me and they said, "What in the heck are you drinking that nasty stuff for?" But yet they pulled out all this Jose Cuervo, and that's what they were drinking. That's what they were taking shots of. I took a shot or two and I said, I can't handle this stuff. This is like super nasty. Many years later, I would buy like a 1.75 liter bottle of it, and not knowing any better, thinking that this is what everybody that drinks tequila drinks. I said, this is some of the most pungent tasting stuff there is. I mean, even if you are using like a shot glass and sharing with, your spouse or whatever, and they're taking rum or vodka or whatever, and you have some of that residue from that Jose Cuervo in your shot glass, it makes the whole shot of vodka, rum, or whatever taste like Jose Cuervo. And even though later on I would find that they added a bunch of sugar to it. Most of the tequilas I've tried so far after the fact, after drinking Jose Cuervo, did not have that sweet taste. Now they can be sweet, but they can be a little bit dry as well. Now, growing up, we probably would have drank some of this stuff here, Bacardi Gold or the Bacardi Light and Bacardi 151. We would have probably drank Smirnoff vodka. But my, main thing that I loved was bourbon, like Jim Beam. I haven't really ventured into the Jack Daniels thing, other than, a taste here and there. But I love Jim Beam. I love Jim Beam Black. Occasionally we would drink Evan Williams and a few of the other like bar brands that were a little bit cheaper, $17 to $20 for a bottle. And I've also ventured into the Scotch territory. This is cheap Scotch. I just, we kind of had this idea of what Scotch was, and me and one of my best friends, which died about a year ago or so, used to watch these old late night shows where you'd have somebody in an old overcoat or something, just smoking an old pipe, and just had a glass of Scotch and ice, and you just like, oh, the smokiness, this has to be similar to bourbon, right? But this stuff is super dry. And I guess it's the peatiness of it, where they like smoke peat, to dry the malt or whatever in it. And it gives it a very strange flavor. It's very hard to kind of get used to. Now, I'm sure there's this is a Total Wine in or whatever exclusive brand, I believe. It's called Highlands, but it's made in the islands, I guess. So there are like 3 main places where Scotch is made. This is like an 8-year plus old bottle. it's not gone yet. If it was something that I enjoy drinking, it would probably be gone in a month. And I have sort of ventured into different types of rums and stuff, but I've kind of come to the conclusion that rum isn't really my thing. You know, this is the newest thing we've tried, the Appleton Estates. We had the Kraken, which is 94 proof. It's a spice rum. You know, for a spice rum compared to like other spice rums I've had, it's good, but it gets old after a while. And, you know, I kind of feel like I've graduated. Before I go on to what I've sort of graduated to and started experimenting with, I'll briefly talk about this. Column 5 Texas style vodka. Now, I believe this is an exclusive to ABC Liquor. There are at least one state, if not multiple states, that have like competition laws where stores cannot sell exclusive items without giving other stores access to that inventory for wholesale prices. In those states, they can sell this. So you might see this if you're in the right state. And this stuff sells. This stuff goes off the store shelves like a case, 2 cases at a time. There are people that come in and just wipe, you know, ABC Liquor out in one day. Just single people. I don't know if they're bar owners or what. At $24.99 for a 1.75. It's I would say, you know, for something you're sipping on or taking a shot, it tastes like rubbing alcohol. A lot of vodkas may taste like that. A lot of vodkas may taste like they got a bad aftertaste. This really doesn't have the aftertaste. It's just all out there. It's smooth, not a big burn. But what this has going for it is if you mix this, probably 40, even 60% alcohol, and you're used to drinking, you can barely taste the alcohol in it. So this is probably, out of all the vodkas that I've tried, the best for mixing. You know, you can't taste the alcohol easily, at least. If you get something like Popov or a lot of other vodkas, you can't say that. You know, that's some nasty crap. Stay away from it. And I'm not an expert in vodka, but this new thing that right here is the perfect mixing alcohol. In fact, when I need a chaser, I will put that vodka in the chaser, in the orange juice. So take a shot or something and then chase it down with that. But anyway, I sort of graduated, and one of the employees, now this is an ABC exclusive, so we're not really going to go too much into this right now, since this is, I think we're going to start out with the sub $25 range, 100% agave tequilas. This guy is like $32.99. It's an ABC exclusive, CavAgave. This is smooth. You can drink it without a chaser. It's sort of complex, so it has a little bit more flavor than maybe some of your cheaper stuff like the Mi Campo. But this is the tequila that told me that tequilas were something more than or different than Jose Cuervo. In fact, this is the tequila that Natalie has liked. She said this is like a fine wine, and she absolutely cannot stand Jose Cuervo. So, to I think Cliff that introduced me to this, thank you. This really shows people that tequila is different than what the mainstream, I guess, target consumer is going after. And although this is a reposado, I've tried their blanco. Now what I haven't tried was their añejo, but I like their blanco. It's definitely just as smooth as the reposado. It tastes almost alike to me. With that being said, tequila is very variable in both the production process, how they process agave, the blue Weaver or whatever agave, and how the percentage of agave that is in the actual liquor. Do they add corn syrup or sugar cane or beet syrup or something to it, or corn? Luckily, the bottles will say 100% agave if it's 100% agave, but that does not mean the process, the way they process the agave, is the best way to get a good flavor. Now, the absolute worst tequilas are probably the ones that have the minimum amount of agave. They have maximum amount of corn or corn syrup or sugar, cane syrup, beet syrup, or whatever. I've heard stories like distillers mixing vodka and grain alcohol with their tequila. They add caramel coloring to make it look like it's been aged in an oak barrel, So what if you want to get into tequila, especially in like a bargain market, and you don't know where to go? Here is what I've been told. Find a company that is not a mainstream company. Like this guy here, Cazadores, is owned by Bacardi. And before Bacardi bought them out, they processed their agave in a different way that made it really good. And then Bacardi, I guess in 2012, if what I'm reading is correct, bought them out, decided to process it cheaper, and it's not as good. So like a company, either one of these guys that may not be mainstream, that you don't think about, is likely to have a decent tequila at a similar price point as the mainstream Jose Cuervo and this and Hornitos or whatever, and you're going to get a better quality product for a similar price. Unfortunately, I don't have any Jose Cuervo bottles to show you guys, but all of these guys here, including two in a similar price point, blow Jose Cuervo out of the water. Well, this guy is just not at the price point we're looking at right now. So round one goes to Mi Campo versus Jose Cuervo. I'm not going to say this has a complex taste. It's somewhat sweet. It's kind of like peppery, but it is smooth. You don't even need a chaser, or at least I don't. And I like that because, I can go to Bacardi rum, just normal gold, and I don't think, it's got just enough burn that I don't think I would do it without a chaser. This guy here, I'm fine with doing without a chaser. So, round one. Round two, Mi Campo versus Cazadores. And these guys, I know this guy comes in Blanco and Reposado. This is the Blanco. This guy, I think, comes in Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. And this is the Reposado. This guy definitely has, on the nose, as soon as I opened it, I said, I hope this doesn't taste like Jose Cuervo, because it has that super pungent smell. Flavor-wise, it may be a little bit more complex than the Mi Campo. It may have a little bit more smokiness, but it is not near as smooth as this. So this tells me you don't have to pay $32 or $35 to get something as smooth as this. This might have a little bit more complexity to it, but this is almost as enjoyable as this. And to me, this is not super enjoyable. Yes, I can force myself to take a shot of that with or without a chaser. It's got a greater burn. It's not as enjoyable, even if it has just a little bit more flavor in it. And that may be because they moved their agave processing, you know, to a cheaper processing. So that could affect the flavor just enough to knock this guy out with this. The Cazadores is $19.99 for the reposado and the blanco, at least right now. I think the añejo is $29.99. The Mi Campo, I think, is regularly around $24.99. I got it on sale for $17.99, and I am definitely looking forward to trying the reposado. I don't think they had it in stock when I went and got this. The nose, the Mi Campo, is the mildest fragrant smelling or whatever. This guy's just a little bit more pungent. This guy is like overwhelmingly pungent. It makes you kind of, you don't know if you're going to get sick or not when you take that first sip. And here's the thing, on the outside, if you do a quick review looking for reviews on this guy, you probably are going to find a lot of reviews from people that remember it pre-Bacardi buyout. And there are a lot of people that don't really drink tequila or a lot of liquors straight. There's nothing wrong with this. You know, put it in a mixer or whatever, a margarita, and it should be fine. Versus maybe Jose Cuervo, which is so pungent that you may or may not like it. Or in orange juice or whatever, like a tequila sunrise. Orange juice to me is, or anything acidic, is probably going to be the best to cover up so much of the alcoholic taste in a lot of liquors and mixed drinks. Coca-Cola I tried with Jose Cuervo, and it was just repulsive and disgusting. I mean, no way could I drink that. I can drink this in Coke. I can drink that in Coke. I haven't tried this one with Coke yet. So I'm going to try a little bit of this Cazadores here. It's just, it's the same proof as all of these tequilas, but it's kind of hard to drink straight because it's got a really nice burn that's not so nice, I guess I should say. We'll try the Mi Campo here. Man, it is so much smoother. So much smoother. So for round two, Mi Campo wins again. But we are just so early on in this adventure. And I'm not sure if this is going to be every other week or every month or what. We're going to try to get new things in this price range. And eventually we may go to this price range and taste a lot of things. But I do know there are at least 3 or 4 other ones that I have my eye on that is in the $20, 750 milliliter range. And I'm going to try next time not to get something that is processed this way. So we will see. Let's stay away from these mainstream big brands like Bacardi here. Alright, so one of the reasons why this guy here may have scored so low is because it's like the second worst production method of agave. So it's not 100% diffuser, which they could use like hydrochloric acid and stuff. And a lot of times the diffuser methods, they don't even cook the agave. So I think it's maximum extraction of usable starches, you know, which turn into fermentable sugars, and probably for money as well, versus like the stone oven, brick oven method, which is more traditional, I guess, of tequilas, and which may produce a more favorable product in terms of flavor and everything. So this is kind of rated in that Jose Cuervo range, just a little bit better than the Jose Cuervo, but this is likely why the Cazadores just is not near as good as and smooth as either one of these guys. And I will just say that this ABC brand here, when it's sourced or whatever, their exclusive brands, from what I'm told, even if you open a bottle of something that they have and you take just a couple shots and you don't like it, my local store said they will take it back and give you your money back. Now that doesn't include the non-exclusive brands like this, but that's actually a good deal. And they do sample a lot of their sourced brands. That's how I was able to sample this. That's how I was able to sample the Blanco. I've done a Cristalino, and I'm kind of against the idea of the Cristalino, because when you filter out the tannins and the color and stuff, it tends to go back toward that vodka-esque flavor, and there's such a higher price point on it. We may even do an experiment where we get some kind of reposado or something and try to filter it and make a Cristalino out of it and see what our results are. But people talk about Blancos like they're so much more harsh than the Reposados and Añejos and stuff. To be clear, the only Añejo I have had was the Cristalino, but this Blanco here, if this is a standard, for what a good Blanco should be as far as harshness, this is actually a good standard to be. I don't have to have a Reposado and pay $2 or $4 or $5 more per bottle. Don't have to have a Añejo and pay $15 or $20 more per bottle, or another $10 or $20 for the extra Añejo or the Cristalino. This is good. I mean, that's all I can say now, but maybe in 6 months from now, when we have a lot of other things to taste test, we may find that something beats that in the price point. Alright guys, so this guy won both round 1 and 2 of the sub $25 750 milliliter tequila made in Jalisco, Mexico. 100% agave Blanco. So in our next episode, are we going to get a Reposado of the same brand and go head to head with the same brand, or are we going to find a different brand and see who the winner is? All right guys, take care.